Hello there everyone and welcome back to RealScreenReviews.com. I'm Nick Yakabuchi and our next review is the romantic comedy, The Switch. This film opened in nationwide release on Friday, August 20th, 2010, and it features former Friends star Jennifer Anniston, Jason Bateman, Jeff Goldblum, Juliette Lewis, and newcomer Thomas Robinson. The Switch comes to us from the directing team of Josh Gordon and Will Speck, who have previously brought us the comedy Blades of Glory, but this time take on a little more serious tale involving drunken mistakes that leave very severe consequences. Our story begins as most stories begin, and that would be in the Big Apple of New York City 7 years ago. We meet best friends Wally and Cassie, portrayed by Jason Bateman and Jennifer Anniston. They are a failed romance from many moons ago that remain very close friends till this day and share almost everything with each other. After many years of searching, Cassie has decided that she doesn't need Mr. Right to start a family, only Mr. Right's sperm. She has apprehensions, but chooses to go through with the process anyway, even against the advice of Wally. She then gets Patrick Wilson's Roland to be the perfect donor, and even throws a party to celebrate the event of her insemination. Now, while at the party, Wally achieves the conquest of becoming very drunk, and while relieving himself in the bathroom, he kind of accidentally on purpose ruins Roland's specimen. He really can't bear the thought of explaining himself to Cassie, so Wally manages to substitute his own specimen in place of Roland's. He then goes on to try and set the world record for drinking, and then tries to piece the blackout of an evening back together the next day with good friend Leonard, played by the almost always likable Jeff Goldblum. He legitimately and honestly cannot remember pulling the switch and just files it away soon to be forgotten. Cassie then in turn does get pregnant and moves away for 7 years to raise her son Sebastian, only to return after a great job offer lures her back. Cassie and Wally soon reconnect, and Wally can't help but start to notice more than a few similarities between himself and Sebastian. He begins to spend a lot of time with these two and really feels for the first time a sense of meaning and worth each time that he's around them. As the tale plays out, Wally begins to put together the puzzle of what has happened, and as his feelings for both Cassie and her son grow, the dilemma becomes even clearer. He can say nothing and have everything, or he can tell her the truth and most likely lose it all. Well, right off, this is a really good movie, people. Actually, much better than my expectations going in. It was hard for me not to be thinking that this could easily be the next backup plan with Jennifer Lopez, seeing as the plots are so similar. However, this film, The Switch, has such a core foundation with the father-son relationship between Wally and Sebastian that it's easily light years better than that. They have this truly wholesome and honest relationship that you can watch develop as the movie progresses. Jason Bateman's Wally reminded me of Tom Cruise's Charlie Babbitt from Rain Man, because you can see the evolution of this character as it slowly goes through an emotional change. And by the end, he soon realizes that some things enter your life and sometimes they wind up being more important to you than you could possibly fathom. I said in my very first review how I've always liked Jason Bateman, going all the way back to TV's Valerie's Family, and some things never change. I believe that him and John C. Reilly are the quintessential everyday man and just bring sheer likability to almost every role. Bateman brings rich, real, and interesting characters to the screen, and most of the time I feel that they would probably be people that I would actually be friends with. This was a pretty standard part for Jennifer Aniston, but could have been misinterpreted by a lesser talented actress, and it was very nice to see Patrick Wilson flex some comedy muscles for the first time that I've ever seen. The Switch was a very human story about very human characters, and I enjoyed the relationships between the adults as well as with Sebastian. Unlike other films, such as The Grown-Ups or the aforementioned The Backup Plan, this movie had a lot of meaning and in my humble opinion delivered exactly what it set out to do. At 100 minutes, The Switch was one of those movies that just tells a really solid tale and will most likely have you smiling throughout. This is a tough sell from the previews, and that's a shame because this is a quality film that I hope finds an audience on DVD. I highly recommend this movie to anyone looking for a nice, warm story. 3 stars out of 4, and remember people, I'm not always right, only when it comes to the movies. And thank you for your attention.